96% of Islanders who did vote rejected the latest bid for independence. It was the third and final referendum in the past 3 years. Voters sided with France in all of them. This victory is beautiful. It's the beginning.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, sahabat semua, saudaraku, keluargaku, sampai sekolah semua. Ini hari pertama kembali kita di kegiatan ST2, di mana kegiatan ST2 itu di dalamnya yaitu ada bedah karya kerja kita, presentasi ya, di dalamnya nanti ada simulasi dan sebagainya. Sahabat, bahkan saya semoga dalam rangka kegiatan di ST2 ini tanggal 13 sampai dengan 16 Desember 2021 mudah-mudahan dapat berjalan kegiatannya lancar. Saya mohon doanya ya. Baik, hari ini saya mau istirahat dulu di Diklat saya.
Now a new stage of negotiations will begin. While the territory will remain part of France, Caledonian leaders, including separatists, will have up to 18 months to negotiate with the French government and redefine a new status for the territory. Katia Lopez-Leon, Al Jazeera.
There are reports a Palestinian man has been killed by Israeli forces in the occupied West Bank. It happens during the early morning raids in the Ras Al Ain area in Nablus city. The 31-year-old man died of a bullet wound to the head. And people in Palestine are turning to renewable energy sources in bids to get around Israeli restrictions. Palestinians don't have access or control the majority of lands in the occupied West Bank. Some are trying to install solar panels on rooftops to overcome the challenge. Ibrahim reports.
This is the largest power plant in the occupied West Bank. It has 20,000 solar panels and is now generating electricity for 3 Palestinian institutions, including this hospital in Ramallah. Before switching to solar energy, hospital managers say they paid $1 million a year in electricity bills, but for the past 2 years, their electricity has been free of charge.
The solar panels are covering all of our needs of electricity as a hospital. It's part of our social responsibility to use electricity that we generate and reduce our dependency on Israel.
90% of the electricity used in the occupied West Bank is bought from Israel. The rest comes from Jordan and through renewable energy sources. A local Palestinian initiative aims to install more solar panels in the West Bank to increase reliance on green energy from 6% to 70%. But Israeli restrictions are complicating this process. Israel prevents Palestinians from developing the land in the West Bank. Installing solar panels on local rooftops was one way around it. Access to lands is not the only issue. Electricity is generated, it's not easy to transmit it from one location to another.
Palestine only operates on low voltage and medium voltage grids. We don't have any transmission network that would enable us to do large scale projects. So we have to size this project both in terms of availability of land and the capacity of the grid to carry and evacuate the power produced here.
Tens of thousands of Palestinians live off the grid. International organizations provided them with solar panels. Now they are the only source of power. It's hardly enough to generate electricity for basic needs and only operates during sunlight. Even though the electrical grid is meters away, Bedouin communities here cannot benefit from it. It's part of the Israeli electricity network and serves the illegal Israeli settlements in the area. The Palestinian Energy Authority says investment in solar energy is relatively new and is still weighed down by bureaucracy.
There's a gap of coordination between these institutions that have been established in the law, that slowing down the process and create kind of bureaucratic procedures.
In a place where the sun shines more than 320 days a year, solar panels could solve the electricity problem. But it is the Israeli occupation that's preventing the Palestinian goals of energy self-reliance. Nida Ibrahim, Al Jazeera, the occupied West Bank.
But less than a year before the World Cup, this increasing focus on the legacy tournament will leave for Qatar. Organisers say some of the stadiums will be turned into community facilities. It's learned lessons from other countries that have struggled to find a post-tournament role for their World Cup facilities. Bernard Smith reports from the Brazilian city of Manaus.
Even in football map Brazil, it was always going to be a challenge to make use of a 40,000 capacity stadium built in a jungle city that can only be reached by air or river. 4 games were played here in the 2014 World Cup. The local government is still paying back the $160 million construction loan to the federal government, with little return to show for the investment.
The legacy is very small. Public transport works haven't started. Public security hasn't improved. Hospitals have not been expanded or renovated. In several areas, including tourism, there's been no progress. It's frustrating for the population.
Now the Amazonas Arena hosts Manaus FC, Brazil's 3rd division. Though it's hosted some concerts and a qualifier for the Qatar World Cup.
In most of its games, Manaus FC doesn't even come close to filling the stadium, even for a big match like this. This is a quarter-final cup game. And gate receipts don't even come close to covering the running costs.
It costs around $73,000 a month to operate the stadium, according to the management. This month, they'll take in half that.
It is important to think about how to pay for the stadium from the beginning, so that it's not feasible for the government, and to encourage football schools and the growth of local sports. Because the objective of a World Cup is to bring visibility to the local sports.
To cope with the heat and humidity of a city not far from the equator, the stadium was designed to be as airy as possible. And it's an impressive piece of architecture. But there's little danger of fans overheating in here, even when their local team managed to salvage a draw in this game. Bernard Smith, Al Jazeera, Manaus.
This is Al Jazeera, and these are the headlines. The US president has approved an emergency disaster declaration in Kentucky after tornadoes devastated the region. Joe Biden has also pledged aid for several other states where more than 60 people have died. Heidi Jo Castro has more from the town of Mayfield in Kentucky.
I spoke with one gentleman who is an attorney here. He pointed out, down from where I'm standing, the hospital in which he was born, that has been destroyed. Now he owns a law firm on the other side of the street where he went to work every day. That has been destroyed as well. I mean, this is not just physically the town of Mayfield that has been leveled, but it is decades of history, of memories, of things that mean tangible memories and mean things to these people. And so they are, of course, grieving for the loss of their town.
The British government has raised its coronavirus threat level and is encouraging people to get booster shots. It's warning the spread of the Omicron variant is pushing the UK back into risky territory. The World Health Organization and the World Bank say the cost of healthcare pushed more than 500 million people into extreme poverty at the height of the pandemic. The WHO wants governments to speed up efforts to make healthcare accessible to everyone. It's encouraging the introduction of universal health coverage. People in Ethiopia's northern town of Lalibela say Tigrayan rebels have recaptured the region 11 days after government forces said they took control. The rebels are targeting the road linking Gashina and Lalibela in the Amhara region. The latest trial ousted Myanmar leader Aung San Suu Kyi has been adjourned until next week. Suu Kyi is accused of violating pandemic restrictions. She was already sentenced to 2 years in prison earlier in December in a separate case. And those are the headlines. Do stay with us here in Al Jazeera. Inside Story is next.
Stories of determination and joy. Short documentaries by African filmmakers from Mali, Rwanda, and Cameroon.
Oke, kita siap-siap mau langsung kegiatan jam 15.30, sekarang jam 14.30. Nah, kita siap-siap peralatannya. Dicek. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jumpa lagi nanti di live. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Datanglah di channel Dennis Sherman.
Now, this is Inside Story.